Franny K. Stein, Mad Scientist, Book 5, Frantastic Voyage, Chapter 11. Let's get the sinus behind us. Franny stood at the edge of Igor's sinuses, looking down into his dark, deep throat. It was important that she went down his esophagus, or she could wind up in one of his lungs. She checked the screen on her wrist and saw Igor staring at the television. A bomb was about to go off in his stomach, and a little girl was walking around up his nose, and he couldn't care about anything but the show he was watching. I never should have given him that TV, Franny said. Franny backed up a few steps to get a running start. She hurled herself off the edge and tumbled down Igor's throat. It was a much longer fall than she had anticipated, and she realized that it was going to be a very long walk back out. Eventually, she landed with a thick, mucky splash in his stomach. Looking around, all she could think about was how truly lovely the inside of a dog's nose is when compared to the inside of his stomach. Chapter 12. Your stomach is bothering me. The contents of Igor's stomach were truly a disgusting spectacle to behold. As Franny floated around on a wad of doughnut, she saw grapes, pizza chunks, and bites of hot dog churning around in a sea of partially digested gunk. Stalactites of dog food dripping gravy onto the bits of chew toy and clumps of hair that bobbed around in the swirling currents of gobbled up food. Franny could see all sorts of odd things that Igor had swallowed, including what was probably part of a shoelace, and the tiny foot off a plastic doll. She couldn't see the doomsday device anywhere. She thought it might be below the surface. Last one in is a rotten egg, she said, just as a rotten egg floated past. She checked her watch again and jumped in. Chapter 13. I think I got gum in my hair and everywhere else. Franny was running out of time. If she didn't find the device quickly, that would be the end of her and Igor, and her lab, and a gigantic chunk of planet Earth. Franny thought, sometimes I wonder if I should just stop building these sorts of horribly destructive things in the first place. Franny laughed a little. Yeah, right, she said. And then she spotted it, the doomsday device, bobbing next to a piece of peanut brittle. It had floated up to the surface and was ticking down the seconds until it would explode. Franny swam toward it as fast as she could, paying no attention to the peculiar pink strands that swayed between her and the bomb. Just as she was about to grab the device, Franny found she could go no farther. She looked down and saw that her legs were tangled in the sticky pink junk. She tried to free herself and got her hand stuck in it as well. The more she struggled, the worse she became entangled. "Gum," Franny said. "That dog has been swallowing his bubble gum." Franny had been so close, but now it looked like it was over. She was completely trapped by the gum, and time was running out. "Wait a second," she said, and she wiggled her way over to the peanut brittle. "These edges are almost like broken glass." She rubbed the strands of gum up and down the edge of the peanut brittle and began cutting and slicing until she was free. She grabbed the doomsday device and pulled out her screwdriver. "You can't stop a mad scientist with a little gum," she said. Chapter 14. But you can stop one with a little screwdriver. Franny smiled confidently. She hadn't expected the gum, but everything else was going according to plan. "All I have to do now is slip this teeny little screwdriver into this great big screw, and then I can open the bomb and turn it off." "Wait, great big screw, teeny little screwdriver," Franny gasped. "Gadzooks, I miscalculated. The screwdriver is too small to open this screw. I can't get this device open before it explodes." Franny looked around Igor's stomach. If only there was something in here I could use. But Igor hadn't swallowed a screwdriver yet. "The walkie-talkie," Franny said. "I'll just tell Igor to swallow a screwdriver." She looked at her watch again. "But I've got to hurry. We are running out of time." Franny pushed the button on the walkie-talkie. "Igor, can you hear me? Igor." She looked at the small screen on her wrist. Igor was not responding. He just kept staring at the television. "Igor, can you hear me?" Franny looked at the tiny screwdriver again. Then she realized the second miscalculation she had made. My mouth, my vocal cords, my voice, they all got smaller. Of course Igor can't hear me. My teensy voice is just too soft now. Franny sat down on a lump of what may have once been a pancake. Gooey, yes, but actually kind of comfy. Let's see now. Trapped in dog stomach. No way to radio for help. Bomb going off any minute. Even if Igor were to lie down on his own, I still could never roll the bomb out in time. Think, Franny. Think.